This video, this is just, it's not a philosophical. It's very, very important for me to protect my integrity. It's more than philosophical, it's very personal. And this is intended for the purposes of crime, organized crime demolition in United Kingdom. Foremost in United Kingdom, in the UK. We're talking about Spitze, or let's just say Toyota Crown of the crime, crown of the crime. We're talking about British royals here in this case. In particular, I have on my mind Prince William, his father, now known as Prince Charles, his uncle, Uncle Teddy, teddy bear collector, Prince Andrew. Let's see what exactly do I have on my mind. Pig flying sideways, meaning in Spanish, English. It looks like there aren't many great matches for your search, and we will get to this issue here. The most animals know they're about to be slaughtered. Let me show you a friend request I got today from the lady. He sent me a friend request. Let's see if this is the right one. Yeah, it is the right one. Is this friend request I got? I get all the nicest ones. Many would probably say, oh, well, that's nice. She's got one friend altogether. It's one friend. And, well, this is very, very similar to, very similar stuff to what my roommate, Rachel, from Bellingham, sorry, that was something also in that context. If you recall the recording, I actually managed to audio record her. How good she feels about herself, that makes her feel good, and that I don't have nothing, that I should get lost back to Europe, to Slovenia, that I'm a disgrace for the US and so on, but that she feels so good about herself, money-wise and so on. But no, not directly. I was thinking about her this morning, today. I was thinking about her, and this here reminds me of the message I got. A soon job search will end. Something in that sense. That will be a sweet reliever. That was sometimes in respect to job search. I was doing a job search, and it was a career builder, I think, or I don't know which website, but it's all video recorded, it's all documented. I documented that shit. I was in Minnesota searching for the job sometime. Oh man, I think it was Minnesota, it was not Chicago. In 2008, and well, this one is going on the same song. Is I'm glad my life is over. Anyhow, this is not what this video is about. I just wanted to give you an impression about the nice people involved in my case. Flying pigs. Well, there is nothing classified under English as far as pigs flying. I'm not a pig flying sideways, meaning saying nothing between 2000 and 2012. So what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to determine when was it exactly when the British crew arrived to me in this house here in Novo Mesto, and have together then afterwards, I got cursed out literally by the British Royals. Maybe I mentioned something in respect to British Royals, in respect to pigs flying sideways. So that probably was sometimes 2016 during Donald Trump's presidency, 2015, 2016. Yet I have to see that. I have to discover yet that stuff. Nothing. Milan Kucan became extremely proud about me being told by the Spanish in Spain, la España, estuvo también en la España también, and there was some people from Spain, I don't know, I was with the Kucan in Spain, or was it the Spanish people that came here, and they talked to me about synonymous for what became known as pig flying sideways after meeting with this English, I don't know, maybe from Cambridge or Oxford linguists, explaining me during MK Ultra that there is no such thing like pig flying sideways. In a sense, I interpreted it, therefore misinterpreted it. They were asking, what is that? What is the pig? The pig flying sideways. I shocked the British monarchs. Charles, Andrew, William, Harry, they were all on their toes. Why this expression, pig flying sideways? So they brought with them team from Oxford, I don't know, either Oxford or, whatever you have, those brilliant minds over there in Britain, I don't know, all those professors that they were just simply horrified about my using this language right there. Which, however, I got, first of all, pig flying sideways, svinia leteti nenaravnost, leteča svinja, svinja ki, the swine who is just not going straight, but is just switching the, let's say like you go on a road and you would be switching the, this is not really good, because if you switch the side you get crashed, but basically, as Freddie Mercury would say, whichever way wind blows, easy come, easy go, bing bing bong, bang bang dong, I'm just a poor boy and nobody likes me. This is a British anthem of the British Royals. Nobody likes them. They're poor and they go whichever way the wind blows. Literally, this is who they are, and that's exactly what I meant. They are just switching sides. Definitely pig, a swine. If you look at what the meaning, if you pig, you swine, if you say somebody, it's not a pretty expression. You rate somebody as a pig, as a swine. You label them as a filthy creatures that roll in the mud, basically, in the lice, in you know what I mean. Now, I'm not going to go and show you the pigs. You know what the pigs looks like. All right, since I'm here, I really do not eat pig's meat. I don't do it. I'm not saying anything is wrong with it. Americans were horrified when I did not, when I refused to eat pig meat. But for me, it's just not, it doesn't taste right. That's all there is. Okay, if it would taste right, I wouldn't care, I mean, you know, but I'm just saying, right? So, when you say somebody, svinia, swine, Schwein, whatever it is that you know, language you use is universal, you know. In a meaning of the pigs flying sideways, that means that you label somebody, first of all, as a swine, as a pig. That's number one. So, I suggest you at Oxford, at Webster, that you are all involved in this stuff, that you traveled with the British to our house here in Novomir. So they had this Webster linguists, they had really, they delivered with them all kinds of people from the Britain to make the point about the English, proper English language. I did talk to you about the right to exist and the right to determination and domestic violence issues, which British royals went on to completely subvert, change the meaning of the most basic issues. They started to fuck with the issues that are self-evident to any normal human being into completely different meanings, changing the basically creating out of lies simply new ways for the people to see themselves as they become targeted as in a completely unworthy, failed creatures. They went into definitions of the psychiatric illness, meanings, misinterpreted. This stuff I already spoke about and video recorded. The meanings of through the online companies, I'm not going to go into it, but this is where we are at right now. This is a continuation of that stuff. Pig, swine, if you tell somebody, that the meaning is obvious, right? You need somebody from Oxford to explain to you. It's not nice, okay? You don't see that human, whatever it is nice, okay? I compared British royals to hyenas. To hyenas. That's how I compared them, to hyenas. And they had people coming from Britain, from the US, all kinds of people. No, they're very social, and they're very friendly. You don't know how you can domesticate them. They're so very nice, and sure enough, I found myself soon inside of the fucking cages with the hyenas. No, this is not a lie. This is the MK Ultra. This is how it is with this shit. Alright? Do you understand shit better than pig? From the Buckingham Palace. You call them royals with your British gods. This is how it is with them. anything I would take the stand to see myself in against them, they would immediately go and play down immediately by anything that was negative. No, we're not angry. We're not angry about you. No, hyenas, very social, very nice, and so on. And then they found some other hyenas, then started to go for the search of the hyenas, different kind of hyenas through the Africa. Soon I found myself with the people driving jeeps through the fucking deserts, not desert, through Africa, searching for a special kind of hyenas. This different kind of hyenas, folks, presenting them to me as beautiful and so on. Listen, swine is a swine. Svinia, swines, svinia, not swan, but swines. Really humorous. They always turn everything humorous because for them the only way to get back on the picture was to turn abuse, torture into something humorous, and that's how they got back on the picture. Always, time and time and time again. So for no wonder all the British comic actors were involved in this. Let's not go too far with this stuff, okay? They are literally rearranging, based on my perception I had, they were started to rearrange literally even the pictures on the internet. Hyenas are fucking filthy scavengers, man. They don't eat what they catch, they just go and they eat anything. It's one of the filthiest animals. Now, are they social and or are they even good looking? Yes, they are. How the hell they are not? Any creature is. Even the pig. People have pigs as a pets and so on. Yeah, any kind of creature is social if you get used to it. But this is not the point. This isn't the meaning. This is not what I saw. I wasn't looking for something in an animal through the people that simply garbage, trash. This one got really empowered once he... So we still don't have nothing here about 2013 and still nothing. Still nothing. (2014) it was about like in 2014, and I got a feeling under 2015, 2016 it's going to be when it's going to be all changed. So this was in 2014. Psychiatric hospitalization took place in 2012, and I was not interested in continuation of friendship like this. It was in 2014, I remember it was in 2014. It was before even Donald Trump took his place. I was still not going after them. So shit, I see this. They still did not release in 2016. Wow. Interesting. Started in 2014 and they were still not. Flying pigs. So in pursuit of Pegasus and other. Introduced to mini pig behavior. Who is the boss? Ooh, who is the boss? flying pigs. This was the deal of Prince William. He was really, the way they do is they don't say anything as long as they have the control over you. They keep silent. And when they completely break you, destroy you, that's when they release. But in 2018, I was the one who forced them to release whatever the hell they have, because they weren't gonna have anything in the future. If they were to release this in the even further down the road, that's what's gonna be even worse for them. You know, it's gonna get even uglier for them. The further I went, the more physical proofs about MK Ultra, it did not help them in any way. So, yeah, I understand. Now, I should just stop here and get to the point here. Why cannot pigs look up in the sky? This is a really gradual development, Oxford development, in respect to pig flying sideways. Pig flying sideways. Pigs flying sideways. When pigs, look at that, then it all exploded. Oh shit, you know what, let's see the history of this. The British hysteria with pigs flying sideways. It seems to me they were flying more and more sideways. Let's see when did this exploded entirely. In pursuit of Pegasus. So I guess that I step on the nerve. And so it was all about, yeah, but they did interpret it to me already the first time when they came from the Britain. So this was in 2014, which confirms that these people did not have any kind of meanings, and they did exactly what Prince William was said. We yet have to determine what to do with you. And so, yeah. It looks like they determined, talking about the British royals in 2018, what they are going to do with me. This was Prince William who ran this crime. He became empowered to become foreteller of the future, the God William. So that's not good enough. Still not enough. Let's see this here. So he wanted to determine the meaning of the pig flying sideways. So let's see how this stuff developed. This already developed very ugly for them, you know. So flying pig, so they associate that with the flying pig. Nothing much. There you go. Have you ever heard of idiom when pig fly? It's used to describe something that is impossible or will, etc. Even better was this one here when I mentioned Milan Kuchan. I am gonna remove this restriction now. This guy here, this Dr. Karl Schuker was involved in it. This guy was involved in it. This was one of the people whom they hired. This guy was involved in it very long time, not since not since 2018. And insisted that I do have to mention him, etc., etc., etc. that I do have to mention him no matter what, that I do have to mention him, and that I do have to mention him. Flying pigs in pursuit of Pegasus, another Paucus and the wing. I'm not arguing about the flying pigs. This is not what I'm arguing. I'm not arguing about the flying pigs. That's not what I never argued about the flying pigs. I argue today about what I stated, and that sideways. Flying sideways. It's not about flying, but flying sideways. Just as I explained. Going sideways. And for that matter, what I'm going to do is, to protect my interests, I am just going to refer to the simple, pig flying sideways, flying sideways. Pig flying in the sky. Frog. Espanol, Spanish. Yeah, they seems to have, I'm not gonna say they seems to have misunderstood, but they wanted me to misunderstand their schizophrenia. For me, this is a schizophrenia. If I say pig flying sideways, and that's exactly what I stated, pigs flying sideways, you don't go and interpret it into pig flying. Pig flying and pig flying sideways are two different things. If you start to talk to somebody who says pig flying sideways, and that person is drugged up, and you start talking to him about the pig flying, that's bullshit. That's a schizophrenia. You're schizo. First of all, you see something that person did not refer to, and through the violence, ability to drug him up, and use the brainwash to insult every core of him, even further. You're trying to change the meaning of his phrase so that he would never resort to one. So he would never use one. So what you're doing is you're imposing bars, mental bars around one. You are simply limiting one in his expression, in his mental ability to relate, to use brain as intended. Frog grow hair. I saw this expression a little earlier, and cuando las arañas crían pelo, it means that the frog grows hair. The same means it's highly improbable. It will never happen. This is what this guy was so excited about when he heard this visit from the Britain. It was all about, wow, it might have been, and I have to see that, it might have been that Prince William got with a Robert Golob, with a Golubić, Gregor Golubić, Borut Pahor, Tanya Fajon. It is possible they got direct assistance. Maybe it was Milan Kuchan who cried and was like, oh, he called us a pigs flying sideways. Maybe I called Kuchan pig flying sideways. These were swines, man. Either way you look, these were swines. And it was a complaint department from Britain that arrived to assist Meilenküchen. It may be Oxford professors and Websters that British royals, British gods, afforded to the Slovenian so-called communists, the so-called leftists. The leftists like a Milosevic, like a Karadzic, Mladic, you know, that kind of stuff. Velika Serbia in Slovenia, that kind of stuff. To change my perception. But it's really simple if you ask, where do you got this kind of perception anyway, Bobby? Well, I got it from here. I watched this movie one time. This is a 1983 Scarface, and Scarface actors all were involved, not only involved in MK Ultra, but they were pulling some filthy tricks on me, which is sad because real Colombian mafia was involved in my case. So I was used literally throughout Colombia, through Brazil, Venezuela and so on, Peru, to bust drug trafficking operations. And so they threw me on a picture with Scarface actors. This was the way, the British way to simply modify reality under MK Ultra 1. So that if you would ever come and start, the truth would not come out and they would say, oh no man, the guy was, we were just playing a joke on him. Now the joke is on you. This was in Bolivia. So I do have to make the point out of this stuff. I don't like owe anybody anything. Actually, really it was in 2014, and it was Gregor Golovic that they were extremely not happy with this. Gregor Golovic was this politician here, and Borut Pahor. They were all horrified with me, with the way I viewed them. Really, after 38 years of bestiality performed on me, they dumped me in the psychiatric hospital in 2012, and they just didn't like me the way I saw them. And so it was British royals that came to rescue. Those swines from the Britain remained still at large. Those British swines actually borrowed from them, from their Eastern European so-called leftists, so-called communists, the language that I used against them, and have positioned themselves, just as I earlier stated, easy come, easy go, little high, little low, whichever way wind blow. I am just a poor boy, nobody likes me. They positioned themselves in a victim, that I discriminated them, that I talked against them. And then, it was Donald Trump's turn for the first time, and the man was very unusual, you have to admit. I started to suddenly believe that maybe there is a way out of hell, and casted all support into Donald Trump, brushing also against the British royals. And there you go. It was like they departed to the extermination camp, Auschwitz or Dachau. It was like I threw them into extermination camp, and it was afterwards all about pigs flowing sideways. And that's the story that I started at the beginning here, when I told you about development of this pig flying sideways when I talk to you about Prince William, talking about how it shall be if I will this, that they yet have to determine about me and so on, where to classify me. Okay, so now if it's going to be pigs in the sky, that's nothing. And it was extremely happy, it made extremely happy Novo Mesto police. It made extremely happy politicians from Ljubljana, Kuchan and so on, when British took their side. So those are really allies to depend on. The friends you do want to rely on, especially when you need. And they make sure that you need. So, 1983, where exactly I got this from? Pig flying sideways. Not from the Cambridge professors, not from the Webster professors.
So this and my other factory, I
La 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 la. You like mafia movies, guys?
The problem is I have no steady market. So basically what
I watch movies extremely rarely, but this one I did watch.
States who can share the risk with me. Somebody who can guarantee to buy from me, say, 150 kilos a month.
Oh, that's a big commitment, Mr. Sosa. Something like that.
Okay.
It's too bad Frank's not here. You should talk to him.
And the guy is gonna go flying.
He would like to come, Mr. Sosa, but you know, with his trial coming up and everything, it's hard for him to get out of the country.
So he sent you instead.
Yeah, something like that.
We'll talk at my house, shall we?
He's gonna go flying. Okay? The guy is gonna go board the helicopter right there. And he's gonna go flying.
You got good stuff here. Class A chip.
So, this Lopez guarantees to buy from me 150 kilos every month of the year. He picks it up down here. I can sell it to him for as little as 7,000 a key. You cannot do better than that.
Yeah, but then we gotta take the risk of moving it. Also, we'll be cutting out the Colombians. You know what that means?
That means we have to go to war with him.
We cut out the Colombians. We take risks on both sides.
So why don't we split the risk? You guarantee your delivery, say as far as Panama. We take it from there.
Panama, risky. Costs me more. Panama I can sell for 13.5 a key.
13.5? What are you, nuts?
I have the wrong video, but
We still gotta take that.
you
cheap
start to
flour.
understand what this
You know
is
what that's like
about.
these days?
This is about the pig flying sideways. It is a pig that is flying sideways. I'm not a gangster. I do not support mafia. I don't see myself in a mafia in any way, absolutely. But
You got the fucking Navy all over the place. You got frogmen. You got EC2s.
this guy right there that you see next to Tony, that one is flying sideways. That's not a straight guy. That one is a pig, you would say, a police informant. And so what is he doing? He's doing a side job. He's flying sideways. He's not going straight.
With a satellite track and shit in them.
How the fuck can I better explain this to the Oxford people if they want to go and search for the origin of the pigs are flying sideways? Who is right, 1983 or 2014? I mean, you know, the job that you do, you can just hire anybody. You can just go to any fucking place and pick up the people so they can do the job you do. You're not doing any kind of work. You're freeloaders. You're collecting at the public's expense. You suck the taxpayers' money for nothing. It's called Money for Nothing, like Dire Straits sing that song, Money for Nothing. And it's not like that. It truly is.
You got the fucking Bell 209 assault choppers up the ass, man. You know, we're losing 1 out of every 9 loads.
When I have to explain to you in England
Let me tell you.
the expression
Forget about 13.5.
with my shitty English, I'm really not good at English.
What do you
I'm not
suggest that is reasonable?
I'm not deluded. I'm not
You negotiated for Frank Lopez? Huh? Is that what
Don't
you
worry
do?
about it, man. Take it easy.
I'm not worried about it. You should worry about it. If he wants to make a deal, it's up to him, not you. We're gonna do this one deal, that's it.
Okay, fuck you. How's that?
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
You need to open your eyes and keep your...
my
tough
English
fight.
is bad.
I'm keeping this guy on ice for it.
I guess so.
Let's finish our lunch.
Hasta mañana.
Can take you to Santa Cruz? I have a jet there. Can have you in Miami in 5 hours. You can be back here tomorrow in time for lunch.
Good. 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 Hasta mañana.
Good talking to you.
Why don't you leave your friend here? Well, you're gone, maybe he can tell me how to run my business.
I think Frank would like to see him.
Well, that's okay. You tell Frank. I'm keeping this guy on ice for it.
I guess so.
Let's finish our lunch.
I have to hand it to you, Mr. Sosa. But you got everything a man could want.
I like you, Tony. There is no lying in you. Unfortunately, I do not feel the same about the rest of your organization.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Sosa?
I'm talking about Omar Suarez. This garbage was recognized by my associate at lunch. From several years ago in New York. He was an informer for the police.
A normal master police is not a police, and the British guards are not gods. They're made of the flesh and blood. They have titles: prince, king, queen.
He put Tito Duval and the Ramos brothers, Nello and Gino, away for life. So how do I know you're not Chivato too, Tony?
Well,
Hey, Sosa. Let's get this straight now.
many people like this expression.
I never fucked anybody over in my life. Didn't have it coming. You got that? All I have in this world is my balls and my word. And I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
I frankly think that Prince William, with his Websters, I should say Prince Charles, Charlie, Andrew, Queen Elizabeth, I think that they understood the meaning of pigs flying sideways all too damn good.
That piece of shit up there, I never liked him. I never trusted him. For all I know, he had me set up and had my friend Angel Fernandez killed. But that's history. I hear he's not.
Well, that's a big difference right there between me and Tony. The one who stated will let me know where exactly do I fit in respect to the flying pigs was Prince William. He stated that to me, that he will see. Well, it wasn't about Prince William, was it? You look at my blog, it becomes very evident that British royals wanted me to identify these people. British royals wanted me to identify them as the swines, as the pigs. So they were not on a rescue mission, they were not on a friend mission, they were not out there to help out. They were out there because they wanted me to identify them as to what Prince William suggested will identify me as. Yes, of course they have titles. They're kings and queens. What is there to say? Yes, they also think they're gods. And they probably are British gods. This was about expression when it comes to the pig flying sideways.
All I have in this world is my body.
Alan, the Ramos brothers, Nello and Gino, away for life. So how do I know you're not Jew?
I did demonstrate in video. This was a huge discussion.
About the truth, Tony.
Hey, Saucy. Let's get this straight now. I never fucked anybody over in my life. Didn't have it coming. You got that? All I have in this world is my balls and my word. And I don't break them for no one. Do you understand? That piece of shit up there, I never liked him. I never trusted him. For all I know, he had me set up and had my friend Angel Fernandez killed. But that's history. I hear he's not. Do you want to go on with me? To say it. You don't? Then you make a move.
I think you speak from the heart, Montana. But I say to myself, this Lopez, your boss, he had chivatos like that working for him. His judgment stinks. So I think to myself, how many other mistakes has this Lopez guy made? How can I trust this organization? You tell me, Tony.
Frank is smart. You know? Can't blame him for that animal. And it's a crazy business for it, you know? But that could happen to anyone, even you, you know? Why don't I go back and talk to Frank? I work it out. I fix things between us. You got my word on it.
I think you and me, we can work this thing out. We do business together a long time. Just remember, I only tell you one time. Don't fuck me, Tony. Don't you ever try to fuck me.
Damn it, I made a mistake, but it's all good. It's actually really, really good stuff. That's not the right chapter, but in my head it was the right chapter when it comes to Scarface. And I remember Prince William talking to sometimes in 2000, 2016, 2015, 2015, 2016, he would not let go of this stuff. That's the best part about it. And he said to Tanya Fayon, to this creature right here, this one right here, he said to her, she was asking, oh, is that good? Is that good? And he said to her right in front of me, he said to her, that's very bad. Looking at me, horrified. Yep. This is the right chapter. This one here.
Hey, Frank. You a piece of shit.
Tom, what are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about, you fucking cockroach.
What are you talking about? Come on, you listen to me, huh?
Do you know what a hassa is, Frank?
I don't know what AH is. Okay, so I can learn about this stuff. What is AH? Reserve police, voluntary police? Nah, I don't think so. It's got a different meaning. It's got like a rat meaning, something in that sense.
That's a pig that don't fly straight.
There you go. Now the point is proven. Scarface, thus you go, and you get the meaning of the pig that does not fly straight. Now, if you want more explanation about what exactly I meant and what exactly my British royals were so hot about, you do go to the Reddit. Ready? Hoop, hoop, hooray! And there you have a guy who posted in the name of Prince William. It says here it was created on July the 3rd, 2008. I don't know what exactly was it created on July the 3rd, 2008. That I do not understand. But there you go. This is 3 years ago. So I hope that this is not 3 years ago, is not in 2008. Here's the calendar. It's 2025, June 1st, 2025, just so that we understand each other. And as you scroll down, it gives you pretty much the explanation I also explained. And you get here a schizophrenia. This one was posted a year ago because this thread here that you see was involved in MK Ultra. They did present this thread to me, and Prince William insisted that he also will post the comment. So this is worse than pigs flying sideways, obviously. Searching for the proofs of the schizophrenia, British gods. Prince William was directly involved in this with his parents, with his father, with his uncle, with his brother. Very, very involved in this. This one here, very, very involved in it. Okay? No, I think what the way they did, the police, it was other threats like this too. They used it in MK Ultra to prove the schizophrenia. Nobody got me drugged up after 2020. So the way they did this stuff is they play with it well in advance. Brainwash, gave promises of what's going to be, and then they officially opened the thread. How is the person that is drugged up going to go and I'm not even saying that there was similar stuff that was not posted somewhere to convince me. I don't even know what they try to do with this stuff. If it was for the collection of the proofs for the sake of the schizophrenia, then today you already know that you failed enormously. You can continue to play the song of Tanya Fayon but that's all there is to it. You can lie yourself, and you can project your lying to the public, demonstrate, continue to do that. Yeah, you can do that. You can even have a support of the public in lying. It's one thing you can do, but the world is not so small. And the kings and the emperors shit, dunk like this. I don't think they have any kind of future, because people can see through it. And I don't know if anybody is thrilled to be governed by the garbage like this. This is why. You want to go and you want to create a one world government based on witch hunting, labeling people as mentally ill, killing them publicly, torturing them to establish yourself, to establish your reputation. That's not exactly of a peace or probably anything that humanity would look forward to. So I deem that you guys eventually are going to fail. I really do.
The kilos, every month, every key.
35? What are you?
I don't think that you guys are going to make it through this stuff. So this is this is the real meaning of pigs that do not fly straight, which probably you even understood, but you just challenged because you wanted to create mental problems, because you want to steal time, and your British police, American police allows you to do so. In fact, they were behind it all, enforcing this stuff, even today in 2025, since you did not manage to resolve actually talking to police anything at all so far. That's the meaning of the pigs flying sideways.
That's a
You just go here to this Reddit. It was a novel mass to police officers that were extremely hurt. Police officers, yeah, that's what you want to call the police, by this. And so I put this into a real time. There is such thing as pigs, or pig that does not fly, that don't fly straight. They fly sideways. They go sideways.
pig that don't fly straight. Neither do you, Frank.
So I wrote it wrong. Sideways instead of sideways is a pig that don't fly straight. Pig that I would not even go into this issue in front of this face. First you have to be pig. First you even have to deserve to be called pig in her. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't see her even as a pig. Oh, look at that. That's a Yiddish expression meaning a person who is greedy, gluttonous, or self-indulgent, often to the point of being out of control. Oh, look at that. Look at this. This is, of course, also meaning for the people, isn't it? Greedy. I don't know what gluttonous is. I gotta see that. Let me see what the gluttonous is. Excessively greedy. Excessively greedy. What would that be? What would that be? Let's say what exactly would be excessively greedy? What would be excessively greedy? What is the excessively greedy? What is the greedy excessively? Was it maybe when you, Andrew, hold diamonds in your hand that were so big, that really big diamonds, that you smuggled out of South Africa using me, literally, looking at me and gesturing me that you owe money as much as one of those diamonds was you held in your hands when I was little. Do you remember? You murderous British swine. You can interpret it here. You can say a person. You can say it's a person. But in your case, it's 1-800 London Cabal. It's not a person. It's not that person. Everything, in my case, everything was reduced to a person. Everything was person. Everything was everything is designed for a single person that it is, not for the association, not for a group of people, company of people that would do this stuff, but everything, every expression pertaining to psychiatry, everything psychology wise that you guys were rated with, everything was to a single person, always single person, which is, yeah, in a form of description of the meaning, yeah, this unfortunately is it pertains to a single person because you were going to describe certain characteristic for a single individual. I'm wrong at that. I admit this is my mistake, but it really pertains between you and me, since you wanted to spar with me like this. The whole world knows it pertains to you. You are the one, you are the swines, pigs, that don't fly straight, just as is explained here under this Yiddish. The meaning of it. You know that you are swine. You know that you are super swine. When you take from a human being even 53 years and absolutely everything. You know that you are the greatest swine, svinja od vseh svin, kralj svin, prasco. That's you. That is you. Indulgent, yes. You gotta try how is it to drown depression, to drown pain, emotional, psychological pain in a food to stay alive. Yes, and you pointed the finger at me and you shamed me in front of other people. You did even that kind of stuff you did. But it pertains to you, and it's time for Oxford professionals, for the Webster professionals to update. In my case, it was not too late. In my case, it was definitely not too late. In my case, what had happened was exactly what I was hoping all along is not going to happen. My entire life, I was hoping something like this would not happen. My entire life, I believed that people behind walls of the Buckingham Palace, and I stated people, I was sure that nothing ever would come to the way it did. But there was this grammar school teacher that I had. His name was Brezovar. And he started to teach me on a principle, teach us all on a principle. If something goes bad, it will continue to happen. For the worst. And this guy was involved in my case, started to teach me about this stuff since my second grade of the grammar school. He was teaching me about this stuff. It doesn't come to me who exactly was associated me meanings, this saying, but it was some kind of a physicist who had his own some kind of principle. The very, very famous Murphy law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You know, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Man, they warned me about you already when I was 8 years old, and they were laughing about it. I just, how do you actually do it to the children? How can you actually do to the children? You're worse than a fucking Soviets. And those are not Soviets, those are Russians. You're worse than Russians. You just have a different approach. You do it through the smile, through completely different ways you use to do exactly same and even much, much, much worse than the Russians did. I'm not Russian. If I would be Russian, or if I would sympathize with the Russians, none of the stuff that happened to me would have happened. You're fucking worse than the Russians. You're much worse than the Russians. No, I wouldn't have done it any different way, the way I did. That's exactly the way I would do it again. If I had to do it again, I would have done it exactly the whole thing as I did. Everything I would have done it again. There was no way for me to say who was what was. Till you guys let yourself loose all the way. And it became evident that going with you will land me on a place in a morgue, nowhere, without even my true ever being released. You are the fucking worst. It's a British way. It's a British way. That's how you do it. It's your tradition. You do it like this through your guts. You need guts because you need somebody to hide behind. Thank you for watching this video. I encourage you highly, just Google Ulcer Times and there you have it not. But this will from now on be used in exactly the way you see it here, as a form of documentation to update life on anywhere from AdSense people whom Sergei Mikhailovich Brin had brought into the house with the Larry Page and with other Google people, all the way to they deleted absolutely everything. This is like totally insane. They were talking about police officer Zajcek, talking about the police officer Stefanic, talking about Novo Mesto police investigators, talking about present director Igor Yurchich and others. Intimidate me, in my face threaten me, laugh in my face with Americans, with British, assuring Novo Mesto police investigators, police station, criminals from Novo Mesto police station. It was not enough. It was not enough that Milan Kuchan, Tanya Fajon, Borut Pahor, had promised them, together with the Janez Janša, together with the Luis Peterle, they had nothing to fear. For the biggest problem for these people was my income situation. So they had to bring the people from United States of America, AdSense people from the blogger, who were not only assuring them that I would not get paid anything, that much about the censorship of the blog. I did talk to you about the censorship of the blog, but I did not explain to you everything that went on in respect to censorship. These statistics are nowhere real. These statistics are fake, completely fake. Completely unreal statistics. Literally had Americans inside of our house, suggested them not to be afraid. They will make sure that I will not even get 1 single cent. And for the AdSense income, which was prohibited from me, they just recently have opened me this option here related to the AdSense that goes to the settings. Actually, sorry, earnings. And you can monetize AdSense. Just recently have opened me this option. I have the proofs. I video recorded this stuff when I was told no, and so on and so forth. And people that were here, they insulted me. They took me to the companies where you can use the blog to evaluate your traffic. Alexa rating was the service that was through which you measure the traffic. Literally through Jeff Bezos did absolutely everything for me to not exist anywhere on the internet. Me having Google people guaranteed me with Sergey Mikhailovich Brin as first will use special bots to track anything that would pertain to Außer Times. Anywhere on the internet, and take it down before one would even come to place. Literally. This is the obsession of the British royals. This is how far this stuff went. There is this, and I don't understand why is this Yiddish. What this got to do with the Yiddish? This doesn't have nothing to do with the Yiddish. Everybody understands what means for the pig to fly sideways, for the pig to fly that doesn't fly straight. Everybody knows this. Universally, everybody knows what that means, the meaning of it. There is even a movie here that is related to this issue, which I use as a reference. Sergei Mikhailovich Brin is a Jew. Larry Page is a Jew. I had Novo Mesto police officers with Igor Yurshich, with Yanis Ogulin, claiming me that this here is the company that will fuck me. The company I had no right to come anywhere even close to make any kind of money through the work on the internet. As for once I would file for this stuff to monetize, they entered inside even the right to terminate your blog through the AdSense. Insisting me, together with AdSense people, that they are using AdSense people to terminate blogs, that complaints go through the AdSense to terminate blogs. This is the truth about swines from United Kingdom. Excessively swinery swines. I don't even understand these people. Look how the fuck they dare to come out on a broad daylight. If there would be another country, there would be country other than Britain. I wonder how these people would go out and say, oh, well, you know, how wonderful, fantastic, what a beautiful day. Let me have my Rolls Royce, I'm gonna go and fucking eat Piccadilly, whatever. How the hell would that be? Where in the world the fuck would that be? Constitutional monarchy. What kind of constitutional monarchy? What fucking constitutional monarchy? What kind of constitutional monarchy? What kind of constitutional monarchy? What kind of constitutional monarchy? I'm gonna show you what I pissed last night. It's a bucket of blood. What kind of constitutional monarchy, man? What kind of constitutional monarchy? What kind of constitutional monarchy? It started when I was less than 1 year of age. I'm now 53, going to the 54. I have seen Prince Philip, I have seen Mother Queen. One generation. Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth. Charles Andrew, third generation. Their children. I see now the fifth generation of this scum. Doing nothing but screwing around with the normal people. Murdering right out on a broad daylight. Walking into United Nations International Criminal Court, giving us a lesson us publicly, crowning themselves. Lavishly, walking around like everything is normal to prove that human is nothing. And God does not exist, for it's only for the British gods. It's only for imperials, only for the royals. Long live crime, long live genocide, long live absolutely everything in respect to evil, and nothing is being done about it. I know these people, I know these swines, I know them. I know them all too well. I just want your world also to recognize them for what they are. I do it free, just the way they want it, just the way they wanted me to recognize them. I do it free. For you will not act, they will gain, and based on this example, destroy more people. If the Ukraine doesn't look bad already. This here, just like every issue that pertains to MKUltra, they always try to make it as appealing as possible. Like Kamala Harris, friend in need is a friend indeed. Just look at that video between Kamala Harris and Polish Andrzej Duda. Friend in need is a friend indeed. And this is what this extermination procedure was based on. Not entirely. But friend in need is a friend indeed was a phrase British royals have used When I say friend in need, this friend in need is a violence. You know? Then you would have a Jew. Then you would have a Jew that would oppose to absolutely everybody, just as was the case in this case here. Pigs that don't fly straight. Not in everything, but in this case, yes. You know, if they observe that you don't like Jews, you're anti-Semite and so on, you like Jews. Now comes the handy part. After a big fuck up, after a big blunder, after a lot of genocide done, it's a payment time, and that's the way they pay themselves. They always position themselves in the role of the rightful, and demanded then from me to acknowledge the lesson. Demanded from me to acknowledge the lesson, the beating, as a torture, as a lesson. Your friend Jew is on your side, don't you see? The same shit was a Black Lives Matters, the same thing. Black Lives Matters were involved in this genocide since I was baby. Jew built State of Israel based on my case. How did the Jew build the State of Israel on my case, you ask? How the fuck not? Like this. Like this. This is an Israeli state. And next to it is Jordan. And you have Syria. And you have Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Egypt. The first war that Israel started, for those that do not know nothing, was through the Syria, literally through the Assad family, where I was used as a baby to divide Plemena, I don't know how you say that, but clans, Assyrian clans. Syria is a country that is governed by the several, I'm going to say nations, but clans. And Jew was the one who got me transport with the Russians and with Americans to Syria to play with the sanity of the Syrian people through the family Assad, who afterwards propelled at the top. This is the history. As a baby, they delivered me here. And I don't know what they have done to the Syrian people, but they were hell bored, man, questioning what is it that appealed to them and what appealed to me about them and what not, and so on, and which of these clans do I prefer and which one I do not prefer, and so on. And this is how this shit started. This is how this lunacy started. It wasn't only about this lunacy here in Syria, through Aleppo, but the same went on through the Lebanon, and for the same thing Israel used me also in Jordania. It was a mega espionage, Russo-American espionage that was run through the Middle East. For all these bombs and shit, boom, 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 from Egypt to all these countries around Israel, Syria, and so on, Lebanon. This is what this shit is. That's what this is. So why would I have? This was the guy who borrowed me, this one here. Josip Broz Tito was the one. Josip Broz Tito was neutral on Israel. He condemned Israel. Yeah, right. 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 Why would I bow in front of anyone? Why the fuck would I bow in front of anyone? That's a question. That's a question. Why the fuck would I bow in front of Slovenian people when I created Slovenia? Slovenia never was an independent country. After 1,300 years, if it really had some kind of kingdom in 700, I doubt it. Slovenia becomes an independent nation. For everything I have gone through, with literally having people gesturing me, there are a store next to your home only because of you. We're going to place the store next to your home. Such was the case with the Mercator at Gurm. Why the fuck with a person with such a status, prestigious status, that had gone through so much, would have to bow to the beatings, to the torture, to the insults of anyone in this world? I ask you, why? So you see, I don't know anything to the Jew. And even less do I owe to those who, with Jews, with Black Lives Matters, their owners, from Buckingham Palace, from the White House, try to prove world that all the garbage I talked about, from wars, espionage, done through me, was done to help me out. Why the fuck would I do that? Why would I go and deny myself in the name of the Jew? Well, I like Jews so much that I would go and deny myself because of some kind of anti-Semitism, so-called? Because of beatings, because of torture that the Jews enforced against me? So they could get the value of so-called anti-Semitism, apologize, rationalize extermination, genocide, based on some kind of anti-Semitism through London, through the neo-Nazis that supported Hitler, when at the same time my families here in Slovenia feared for their existence? Why? See, this is why Jew, this is why Black Lives Matters, this is why you and not me. This is why, because you dehumanized me, because you turned me into animal, without my even recognizing myself anymore in the mirror as a human being, or even what family I was from. Why would I go and thank you for the genocide? Why would I see myself in a Jew? Why would I see myself in a Jew? The biggest supporters of this here that you see in Britain are inside of the Buckingham Palace. So why? Why would I go and see myself in these issues? What for? What do I need this for? Why? When you go to the store, you should buy the stuff you need, not the stuff you don't need. You go and you praise them. You see yourself in them, in pigs that fly sideways, that don't fly straight. 1-800-Satan. 1-800-Lucifer. London Cabal. Why would I load myself with the stuff I don't need? Why would I thank people for killing me, for doing everything they possibly could to erase me? Why? I will not even forget the day when you started to enforce, talking about Andrew and Charles, existence of the blog, of the free blog feature, through destruction of other American and other companies that offered free blogging platforms. There were other blogging platforms out there, And this British scum engaged this free blog platforms that existed out there in a torture. Till they got approval for me for the sake of Larry Brin. Sergei Mikhailovich Brin. I should say Larry Page. To close down all those companies and enforce genocide procedure the way they want it, through the Blogger, through the Google. Let's talk about how the Blogger came to existence. There was no Blogger. I remember Sergei Mikhailovich Brin, who had nothing in America, who was poor like a fucking mouse. Like a fucking mouse, poor, with his family, with his mom and with his dad. I remember this. But in 1990 was the first one. In 1986, for the first time, Sergei Mikhailovich Brin, this guy here, this one right here that you see, in 1986, for the first time traveled to Russia. Briefly, in 1986 he did, with me. You understand? In 1986. And then again, I don't know, in 1978, in 1988, and in 1990 he started to travel. In 1990, they searched for a person, which was Vladimir Putin, through whom it would be legalized for these people to return home. These are Jews who escaped Soviet Union, Russia, yet they searched for the way back to Russia. And they were not allowed anymore to go back, afraid they're going to face prison. It was this boy here whom they have sent through the British oils to Russia, using my case. So he started to smell around and start to establish himself in a new Russian government, which was a government of Vladimir Putin. I will tell you who this guy is. Don't fucking tell me who Sergei Brin Mikhailovich is, how he became a Google genius, blogger, YouTube genius owner. Don't fucking teach me about who did this stuff, how this stuff is done. This is the way this stuff was done. This is the way the Google came to existence, through the British oils, through the Vladimir Putin approved it. You go through the Google Maps. I'm going to tell you how it was, because this was MKUltra staff member that would deliver me to Russia on a regular basis, since sometimes in 1996. Earlier than that, he started to travel with a Larry Page. Larry Page should tell you about this stuff, how the two became partners, decided for Google, how it all come to place. They never disclosed about that when it stopped, did they? And I didn't die yet. I'm still here, so why am I not explaining you about that stuff? Ask your Mikhailovich. Ask him about Ossetia. Ask him about how he traveled next to Putin throughout entire Russia. how he was started when the Google Maps started to come out, how he was begging Vladimir Putin to at least allow him to have a postcards. Vladimir Putin would be deciding about where, based on prior consent with during vacation time, or Putin would take vacation, and he would have people like Google traveling next to him. American billionaires that would travel next to him. All American billionaires that traveled and were like a dogs eating from the hand of Vladimir. If the Putin would stop someplace and it would be really important for them. Talk about the Google Americans, that they would see something that they just couldn't get out of their head, and they would start to insist for this to be on the included in the Google Maps and stuff like this. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm telling you about Google Maps, how they came to life, and it would be Putin that would talk to his Duma about this issue, determining whether it's of a strategic importance too much, so that the photos can be even placed on the internet online. This is Russia. This is the way it was, or not. Putin would say, "Oh, not allowed, but I'm going to give you a postcard," and then you would go and if you would go to the certain location, whatever, and you would get, instead of street maps, which in Russia, as you see, even exist, right? Krasnodar Krai, look at that. We even have a fucking street map in the Russia, which is not very often you see. And instead of that, this here is in my city. This is not in Russia. I don't know what the hell that is. Hey, that's funny. That's hell is funny. Eh? Or whatever Putin would decide, it would not be for the street maps. He would just say it's a postcard and so on. This is Sergei Mikhailovich Brin. When I said to you about the online income, when I said to you about the online censorship and stuff, and this is not the purpose of the video. This is about the swines, definition of the swines that fly sideways. In other words, they don't fly straight. That's what this is about. The sideways flying swines. UK, made in UK, that's what this is about. Okay, enough of this. Just so that you know how the Google came to place. Who did the Google? Who is whom with the bet for the last 52 years? Whichever way you know, I know more. Whichever way you look, I know better, and I know more, and I'm capable to prove. Is there like not even one fucking picture here of him and Putin? This is the man behind the war. This is one of the key people in war in Ukraine. This is one of the biggest warmongers of future war in Ukraine, this guy here. He spent together next to Vladimir Putin for 25 years. They vacationed together. Ask him how many times he vacationed together with the Putin. Because it was always. Russia so beautiful, so big. From Vladivostok to Moscovia and back and forth and left and right. And became eventually the one who even brokered for the Google Maps with the Putin through the favors and so on. Don't fucking say to me that I don't know who this guy is, that I don't know that this and that. I am the one that does what mainstream media is lying about. And based on the stuff that I say, and based on the stuff that you see through the mainstream media, you can say that somebody's lying. I was labeled already as insane in 2012. From that talk, from what you see, I do, you can come easily to conclusion I'm not insane. Quite contrary. So somebody here is a criminally insane. Beyond criminally insane. Beyond disgusting. Somebody. Gonna give you fucking censorship. You're gonna get the fucking censorship. You keep fucking playing with this stuff. With your Ursula von der Leyen. You keep playing with it. You keep telling about people that this is real, they see. You don't convince me. You can block YouTube like you did, Daily Motions, all the video channel platforms through exactly the concept, Illuminati concept. But you did not convince me. You did not convince me. I see this news surface right here at the top of it. Good. I suggest South African whites to become a part of the South Africa. Here are there to stay. I was already outspoken about this stuff. You suffer because you choose to suffer. You suffer because you choose for your kings and for your queens to be wealthy, filthy wealthy at your expense.